When you look back at the girl from Central Florida who just loved to dance, what do you think she would feel seeing the life you've built now?
Taylor Gagliano is a professional dancer, choreographer, creative director, and mentor based in Los Angeles.
I think it's the most rewarding thing being able to move somewhere, not know anyone, and then start to cultivate and create the life that you want.
She's performed on 14 tours around the world with Lindsey Stirling and worked with names like Sabrina Carpenter, Katy Perry, Green Day, Tiësto, and the Kelly Clarkson Show.
It was just super fun being able to perform with Lindsey, perform with Sabrina Carpenter.
Today, she continues to evolve as an artist through mentoring, creative direction, and judging dance competitions, all while building a career defined by discipline, creativity, and passion.
The biggest thing that you can take away from dance is that we are the visualizers for music.
Taylor,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
You've performed on 14 tours around the world with Lindsey Stirling and worked with names such as Sabrina Carpenter, Katy Perry, Green Day, Tiësto, to name a few. When you're standing backstage before a massive show, what's going on through your mind in that moment? And do you still get nervous?
So yes and no. When it's the beginning of a tour or the first time doing a show, I would say maybe the first 1 to 5 times doing a specific show, you definitely have those nerves and that excitement of, oh my gosh, you're thinking about everything. You're thinking about your performance. You're thinking about the steps. You're thinking about just the audience out there. But once you've gotten maybe a week of shows in you or a couple more, that kind of dissipates and it goes away and it turns more into okay, how can I have fun with this? What can I do? As I've gotten more and more into touring and more into performance, that goes away, that those nerves, but the excitement doesn't go away. The best part is when you get to see people's faces when you're out in the audience or on stage versus out in the audience, and you're seeing them and the energy that they bring back to you. It's very much like a mirror. I feel like being on stage and then your audience members, you want a good audience. So if you give them a good performance, they'll come back at you.
Yeah.
But then it's different, being on a show or a tour, a live performance versus a music video. Music video, you don't get really get nervous, at least for me, because you've performed it and then you have takes. You're okay, let's cut, let's do this again, cut, do this again. Unless it's a music video or a performance that's okay, this is a one take. Those are a little bit more nerve-wracking. But if you know that you have a couple of times and chances to do it, then it's okay, I've got this.
For these major shows that you perform in, what's the prep look like? The rehearsals, the training, what's that look like?
So specifically for the different tours that I've done, we usually have about a month of rehearsal, and that's including dance rehearsals in a studio and then also pre-production rehearsals. So we'll start with rehearsals in a studio, and I might even go a step further than that. It'll be of prepping with the choreographer, being okay, what's our choreo going to look like? How are we going to stage this? Then we move to the studio, we teach other dancers, we kind of get it connected, and that'll be 2 to 3-ish weeks, depending if it's a brand new show or if it's just spot dates or if we've done it before. And then we'll move to a studio where it'll be a mock stage, and we'll do everything with dancers, band, production, costumes, kind of bringing that all together. And then usually we'll get 1 day on a real stage, and then we'll just go from there. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Just 1 day to kind of run it through.
Kind of, yeah. Sometimes you're lucky if you get that. I've had some shows where it's okay, we've never performed this before, fully start to finish. So let's see if we've got it. So,
yeah. You've done 14 tours. What have you learned from touring so much?
With touring, yes, your job is super important, but it's also learning how to be around people. So you don't necessarily get to go home by yourself. You get to go home to 13 roommates in the tour bus. So you learn how to deal with different personalities. You learn what you need to be able to be in your own zen. Because a normal touring day, I'd wake up, make a coffee on the bus with at least 4 or 5 other people up on the bus. And then you go into a room. With us, it was with the other dancers. So with 3 other girls, you're performing, you're practicing or whatever, and you're getting ready. Then you do your show, and then you come back to the tour bus. So you're with people all day. So you learn how to keep your energy good for the show, but then also keep your energy all day being around people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's that feel like? What's tour life feel like on the bus, the travel? I gotta imagine it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. It's amazing. I will say it's definitely a young person's game. When you're younger, it's like everything's amazing. And every time you go to a new city, you're like, I'm going to go and explore. But by the time, like the last couple of years of touring, younger ones would be like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go explore. I'm like, I've been to that city before. I'm good. I'm just going to relax on the couch. I'm going to read a book. Like, you know, so it's really, really fun. Like it's amazing. But at the same time, it's not as glamorous as you think. Like I shower every day in a venue and you have to wear shoes when you shower because it's in a venue and it's kind of gross. But there are some glamorous moments to it too. It really depends.
What are some highlights from that many tours? What are some trips you've been on or countries you've seen where you're like, man, this is my life and this is freaking awesome?
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple. One, I've performed at Red Rocks twice.
Oh, so come on.
That's been pretty epic.
Oh.
I've performed at Red Rocks twice, but never seen a Red Rocks show. So that's like on my bucket list to see a show there. Performing at Radio City was awesome.
Amazing.
Really, really amazing. I got to perform in Puerto Rico, and it wasn't necessarily the show that was amazing. It was the vacation that was taken afterwards with half the people that we were with.
Yeah.
Gotten to be there. I've gotten to tour all over Europe, which was really cool. We got to perform in Europe during Christmas time, so we got to go to all these little Christmas markets, which was really fun. I don't know. I feel like I have so many different memories that I get. Like we were in Utah for some show that we did. And then we all did like a cabin and went ziplining. And like, we've just done different fun little things all together that have been amazing. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And how's Lindsey to work with?
She's amazing. She is the nicest, kindest, most humble. She's a great artist to work with. There's some artists that are like, don't look at me, don't do this. Like I've had some friends who have worked with artists that literally the artists have to like walk through tunnels to get to set. And she very much is like, she's your friend. She's there. She wants the best for you. Again, super hard work ethic and just overall a really, really kind artist. And I think when it comes to touring, your experience starts from the top. So if the artist is amazing and the management is amazing and everyone is really kind, then it trickles down from there that it's a really great experience to tour. Because I know some people that are like, ugh, touring, it's horrible, it's this and that. And I'm like, I've never had that experience. Like it's always been good vibes. It's always been fun.
How many violins she's taken to these performances?
Oh, I think I've seen... Oh, she names all of them. I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah, she names them and she like rhinestones them.
Yeah.
Like one is called Bob Ross. One is called, I forget some of the other names, but I think I've seen at least 5 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. What's something you've learned from her, from traveling with her so much?
So Lindsey is a very spiritual person as well. And so just learning how to take each moment and looking at it from the glass half full. And like it's lonely at the top. You're constantly on and you're constantly doing this. And I'm someone who I'm an extrovert, but I'm also an introvert. Like I need my time to be by myself. And she is so good with her energy, so good with being super grateful, and being around that it's really easy to also stay grateful. So that's kind of what I've learned from her.
Ah, yeah. Nice. How did that audition come about? How did you start performing for Lindsey Stirling?
Okay, that's actually a crazy story.
Okay.
I was 22 at the time, and I was kind of in a rut with my dance career. I was doing like spot gigs and things like that. And I remember I was specifically home in Florida with my family. And this is always what happens. Whenever you're out of town is when you get the auditions. It never is like when you're in town and you're like, okay, I'm ready, agents. And then you get home and it's like, or you're out of town. And they're like, okay, audition. You're like, great.
Yeah.
So I was home with my family and I got this audition and it was from my agency. And everything about it, I was like, oh my God, this feels very much like a job for me. It was like, we want good vibes. We want dancers between the heights of like 5'1" and 5'3". And generally for dancers, like you kind of want to live in the like 5'5" to 5'7" range. That's a lot of artists are a little bit taller. So when I got a specific like short girl call, I was like, wait, this is for me. It was for technical dancers. It was for a tour. Like everything that it said, I was like, wait, this feels very much like me. But my flight was for 2 days after the audition. And I was telling my mom, I was like, oh, I can't make it. And she's like, why? Just change your flight. And I'm like, okay, tried to change my flight. And it was like $500 more to change my flight. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. So then I was like, do we know anyone who's like a flight attendant or like a pilot that we can get on a standby flight? And my mom's best friend actually is a pilot. So he's like, I can't guarantee anything, but let's get you on a standby flight. I was the last person on this flight, get home, get in, and then go to bed, wake up the next day, try to start my car wouldn't start. So I'm like, oh my God, call my best friend. I'm like, hey, can you please drop me off at this audition? He's like, yeah, for sure. Drops me off and I'm the first one there. And I'm just like stretching, getting ready. And I they have someone come out and bring out numbers. So for dance auditions, you have numbers usually placed on you or clipped to you. And I waited a little bit to grab my number and I grabbed it. My lucky number is 31. I don't know why. It just has always been like a lucky number for me. I also think it's the opposite of 13. So it's like lucky versus unlucky. And I got that and I was like, something, and he was like, okay, I think I'm gonna get this. Like it was like a sign. Mm-hmm. So from my agents was how I originally got it. Then I get there, I start doing it, and like I've gotten so many no's, I've gotten so many yeses, I've gotten so many different like, you know, in this industry you have different ebbs and flows with it. And the entire time in the audition, I was just like, I have this. I know I'm gonna get it. And so we did one round of learning a combination or a dance that they have. We learned it in probably 20 minutes. They did like half of the girls, they cut them. And then we learned another dance. And then from there, they had, I think, 8 of us that they just like back to back to back. We're like, okay, you 2 dance together, you 3 dance together, you 4 dance together. And I think it was a process of like 5 hours maybe. And then at the end of the audition, they called me and one other girl and they're like, hey, can you guys come up to the table? We go up. And I've never gone to an audition before where they tell you right then that you get it. And they're like, yeah, so you guys need to be available in 2 weeks. And I was like, I literally dropped to the floor. I was like, what? And they're like, you got it. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And I'm sure they thought like, this girl's so green. She's so excited. She's so whatever. But yeah, it was a really crazy experience because I almost didn't go to the audition.
Wow.
And it completely changed my life going to this audition. And the amount of like, countries I've been to, shows that I performed in, experiences I've gotten to have. And I just think like it takes one little thing to get you sometimes to where you need to be. And I was really in a spot in my career that I was just like, not that I was about to give up, but I was just like, you know, it was almost, I was over it. And sometimes it's like, have you seen that meme before of that guy like, digging that hole before he gets to treasure and then he like walks back.
Yeah.
It's like, I felt like I was almost there. And then, yeah, I'm glad that I had my mom being like, no, change your flight. Let's figure it out. Let's get you back there.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Now to kind of also give some context, how long had you already been dancing like professionally and auditioning and trying out projects until you got this?
So I moved out to LA when I was 18 and I did a dance program for a year and it was super intense. You danced probably like what was it? It was September to September. So like a full on year and we maybe had like 3 breaks, like 3 weeks in between that you were off. So did that for a year, got a dance agent. And so then I was 19. So between 19 and 22, I was auditioning, I was doing gigs here and there for like indie artists or little things. And I had gotten a couple of things, like I did a couple of music videos, a couple of TV shows, but nothing like super big. And my goal was always to tour. Like that was my dream.
Really?
So it was probably a 3-year chunk of like, a lot of no's and like a couple of yeses.
And now that's with acting, that's with dancing, performing. How do you handle the no's and how do you push through them when our body naturally wants to tell us like, I don't know, maybe should I keep going? Like, how do you keep pushing past that?
So a lot of it I think has to do with my upbringing in the sense of training so much in dance. I trained from age 3 to 18 in a competition studio. I was dancing like 5 days a week and you're competing, you're training, you're doing all this people are going to be in this dance. You're not going to be in this dance. So I learned from a very young age, like through auditioning at dance competitions, from competing at dance competitions, you're not going to always get yeses. And my dance teacher was kind of crazy, but I will, like, because some of them are, not all of them, but some of them are. But she really taught us how to persevere. And same with my family. My family is a big proponent of that. To give a little backstory, my dad's a chef, and then my mom, my parents owned 2 restaurants, and so my mom ran the side of the like business side, and my dad was he was the creative behind it. And growing up, my dad like was super smart in school, and when he was in, I think, high school age, he quit. He dropped out of high school to become a chef, and went through this training program. And this training program, it was like, if you won your training program, you got to go to a Michelin star restaurant and train under this. And he was top of his class. And then when it came down to the competition aspect, he did top for the entree, top for the appetizer, and then the dessert, he got last place because he made a souffle and the souffle fell. Oh. I don't know. And
I've had a souffle.
You've had a souffle, so you know.
Good.
And
they're better when they don't fall.
Exactly. So he got 3rd place. And he was distraught. It was horrible. And he told us this story our whole life. And he's like, but if I didn't get 3rd place, I would have never met your mom. I would have never moved to America. I would have never had you guys. So sometimes your no's are your biggest yeses. And just knowing that kind of has always helped me. And knowing that not every job is for you. Like I can look at like Beyonce's tour. I know that's not going to be my job. I'm not that tall. I don't dance like that, you know? But Lindsey Stirling, that's my job. They're both tours, but they're completely different tours. Yeah. So having a nice upbringing of knowing like no's are going to happen, yeses are going to happen, but then also being self-aware enough to know that like that's not your job, but that this is your job. And it's not a question of if it's going to happen, it's a question of when it's going to happen. Yeah,
I totally agree. Yeah. I tell a lot of people that I don't look at it as from a victim's perspective as like, why is everything happening to me? It's more of like things happen for you and not to you. So this was supposed to happen this way. Agreed. And so when you start looking at it that way, it kind of helps a lot.
It helps, totally.
Yeah. So when you were younger, you said you started dancing at 3. What got you into dancing? Why did you love it so much?
So my mom was also a dancer growing up. So she was a dancer, and that's kind of how her and my dad met. She was a dancer, and he was a chef at a company. And so that's why I initially got put into it. But I also was that kid, like you can ask my entire family. I was like putting everyone, like my little siblings, I was like, you sit right there. And I was like putting on outfits and I was just like dancing in front of them. So I think it was always in me. Like I was never that kid that played with dolls. I was never that kid that had like all these stuffed animals or things like that. I was literally out in my backyard, like dancing and singing by myself. So I think it was always in me. I've had I'm a very woo-woo, spiritual person. And I've had a couple of intuitives be like, oh, you were a dancer in your past life. And I'm like, I'm also a dancer in this life. I think it just has always been in me. But initially it's because my mom danced and saw that and then just put me into it. And I loved it. I think at age 10, I told my parents, I remember sitting them down. And I was like, Mom, Papa, I want to be a professional dancer and I want to move to LA. And they both were like, okay, let's figure it out. How do we want to get you there? So yeah, I kind of always knew.
Yeah. So you got the audition for Lindsey Stirling. You got the part. What was that first performance out there with her? What did that feel like?
It was, it's crazy because looking back at it, there were a lot of, I don't want to say problems, but that first show, a lot of mistakes happened. But because it was my first show, first tour, I had no idea. I was just so enthralled. I've never been so nervous. I was sweating so much, but it was the most exhilarating, exciting, fun thing I've ever done. And being in front of everyone was just addictive. That, I say your first tour is I don't do drugs. But if you did drugs, when people say oh, that first time you do something, it's you're always chasing that. Sure. That's kind of how your first tour, your first show is. And it's electrifying. It's amazing. I can't describe it any other way as just this burst of energy that you get. but without the like anxiety behind it. At least for me, because I really loved it. And that energy afterwards, just being like, we did that, like, and let's do it again and do it again and do it again. But looking back at it, like there was a prop that went up for Lindsey. She was supposed to go up and then come back down, and the hydraulics went up and it didn't come back down. Like there were like things like that, like mistakes that happened, but I was so in my own world, and us dancers were so in our like own world that kind of stuff didn't even affect us. So.
Yeah. And do you ever overthink at all when like you've trained for so long, you've rehearsed, you know exactly what the moves are. Once you get on that stage, especially the first time, are you ever like overthinking, being like, I hope I don't mess this up?
So luckily for shows like that, no, because there's so much rehearsal time. You get the like, it's more, you get more of that feeling in an audition because you're like, it matters right here, right now. For a tour, for a show, you have at least, for us, we had like 2 or 3 weeks, but sometimes it's only a week. But you get so much time, and it's like 8 to 10 hour days of running it over and over again. So at that point, it's really in your body, and that muscle memory is really there. So no, I don't feel like I overthink.
You're like, it's second nature.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Now, after getting that audition, was your first performance with her straight into a tour? It wasn't even like a quick little stage. It was like a straight tour?
It was straight into a tour.
Where'd you guys go?
So it was a US tour, and it was 3 months long. So it was a big tour too. There's in touring, they call them like A markets, B markets, C markets. So it's bigger cities like a New York and LA versus like smaller cities. Like what would be a smaller city? I'm thinking of only big cities right now, but you know, like the tinier cities.
Sure.
And it was an A market. We were going to all these crazy venues. It was super big. I think we performed 60 shows. So it was a lot. Yeah. And I went from that to then we had like a month break off and then straight into another tour with completely different music, completely different choreo. So yeah, it was like, okay, let's see if you guys got it. And then let's just go right into it.
And were you already familiar with her work prior to even the audition?
So no, actually, I had one friend who had been a dancer for her previously. So the only reason I was familiar with her was because of her. But I hadn't listened to her music. I wasn't like a fan or anything like that.
Yeah. And what have you noticed? So from your own dance career and then now working with her, when someone's performing at that level, what's that work ethic look like? What's that preparation look like? When you're seeing this in real time, you're touring with her, what's that look like?
She is such an incredible artist. She is one of the highest work ethics I've ever seen. And I know a lot of dancers say that about the artists that they work for, but truly, she is amazing. She like comes up with all the ideas. She is the first one in, first one out practicing. Because she's not just dancing, she's not just playing violin, but she's doing all that. She also does aerial work now. So she's like training in that, training in dance, training in her music. She sometimes will sing, so she's training in singing. She's doing costumes. It's really inspiring to be around. And same with like the other dancers, between the dancers, the choreographer, her, everyone just works really hard, and it makes you want to work harder.
That's awesome. That's really cool. She's kind of almost like reinventing herself each time to be like, okay, let's try this. Let's do aerial, singing, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Wow,
So
that's
it's
really cool.
fun.
I also noticed you do some aerial work.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
So it was actually through that show. I think the first 3 years on tour with her, I was just dancing. And then generally before another tour, she would do these little like production meetings. And I remember being in a production meeting and she's talking about like, oh, I kind of want to start introducing aerial, blah, blah, blah. And then I can't remember if it was her, if it was me, but someone said like, oh, would you want to try aerial? Or I was like, hey, if you ever want dancers, like I'd be interested. And that conversation started. And then from there, I was like, okay, let's try it. So me and then another dancer, we got to train for like 2 months in aerial. And then we implemented that into a show. And then every time from there, we just kind of kept training more and more and more. And I think it's super important for dancers to know, but also all artists to kind of be adaptable. And it's like, okay, if you're in a situation where you could learn something and it can level you up, go for it. And for me, I was like, I saw that as an opportunity. I'm like, okay, this is a skill that I can learn. Let's learn it. Let's bring it into the show. And then now I can have something I can take away forever.
Absolutely.
So
how long have you been doing it now?
I've been doing aerial now, I think for 4 years. So
4 years.
yeah.
Wow. And how do you like it?
I love it. It's a lot. Okay, when you asked earlier, you're like, what is something that looks really easy, but it's actually really hard? That is something.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing people doing aerial and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
And you try it and it's not even the strength part that's hard. It's like it hurts your body. Like the bruises that you get, you're bruised up all over. Oh yeah. I've had people be like, are we okay? Like, are we like, is someone messing with you? Are you in a domestic thing? It's like, no. You just get crazy bruises from it. The pain does go away, but that initial start when you're training, it's pretty rough.
It's still painful while you're performing it? You're like, you're getting into a pose, you're like, hope everyone likes it because this sucks.
No, so once it's kind of like that muscle memory thing. Once you do and you train a routine, you kind of forget about the pain, and that pain, your body gets used to it. It's always when you're rehearsing or you're trying a new move that you're like, I can't do this. I remember my first time, not the first show that we did, but the second one, we were learning a new move. We had a new instructor and a new coach, and she showed us this split move. And I literally was like, I can't do that. I was like, there's no way. She tries getting into it. I'm like, I can't do it. And she's like, I promise you, just move past the pain. Give it like 3 days. I promise you'll be able to do it. And I was like, literally I'd go home and I'm just like, there's no way. I hate this, blah, blah, blah. And then 3 days went by of training it. And then I did it. And she was like, see, I told you. I'm like, you're right. You just have to like move past that, you know?
Yeah.
So
now 4 years of doing it, have you ever been in a performance where things weren't going as planned in the air? I feel like that can possibly happen, from time to time, but.
It has. So we have great riggers and that we trust a lot. So it's never been on their end. There was not during a show, but there was definitely one time during a rehearsal. It was just me. Like it was 100% my fault. I missed something and I fell from it. And that was really scary. I took total accountability for it, but like had to go to not because something happened, but had to go to the hospital just to like, for precaution and all that. So things do happen, and it was definitely a wake-up call to be like, okay, you can't just rely on your muscle memory. You have to be on, because there have been times when whether you're dancing or you're doing aerial, that you're just kind of like going through the motions. And that was a wake-up call for me to be like, no, stay present, be in it.
Oh, absolutely. And now, did you say that was during rehearsal or an actual performance?
During rehearsal.
Okay, rehearsal.
There was one time during an actual show, and she was up, and then me and another dancer, we had some fabric that we were kind of moving around, and the trick just didn't work. Nothing bad happened, but that was like a big moment that we were like, oh, that was a moment that could have happened. That it happens. They just doesn't follow through or go through. But that's the beauty of live performance, you know?
I mean,
know it's all real.
So now that you got aerial under your belt, thinking of any trapeze?
Yeah, I do trapeze.
Do you?
I do. So the apparatuses that I do are trapeze, lyra, which is the hoop, and then I do hand loop. And then we have this like fun umbrella shape looking tool that I've used before. So.
What else do you want to add to your arsenal? You got dance, you got aerial, trapeze. What else? What else do you want to add?
That's a great question. I mean, I don't know if I'm there yet, but I think acting would be such a fun thing, or it would be great for me to learn. I would say singing, but I cannot sing. I cannot hold a tune to save my life. But there's something about actors, and the dancers have confidence, but there's something about actors, they really know themselves and they really can step into a room and like encapsulate everyone. So maybe a little bit of acting. We'll see.
Very nice. I just took on stilt walking.
Oh, that's fun.
I just bought some stilts and started practicing.
Just like on your own?
Yeah. So I have a buddy. He was actually the first episode we did. He's been a stilt walker for 10 plus years, like for like Halloween Horror Nights and all that stuff. And he's currently a stunt performer in Waterworld. And we just had on actually the Deacon from Waterworld, who's been doing that show for like 30 plus years and stuff. But no, yeah. So I'm like, I love the stilts. I'm like, they're freaking awesome. Yeah. I almost actually bought the ones they use at Universal.
How do you
but
put
they're
them
pretty
on?
Expensive.
Yeah, is it like hard to like get in and out? Or?
I'll usually find, either sit on a couch or find like a higher platform and put on the stilts, strap them in, and then I'll stand up and then start just walking. The other day, these new ones came in that I spent more money on and spent probably about an hour and a half just walking around. And
Is it hard?
at first, you just need to find your center.
Okay.
And once you find your center and you kind of feel the balance of it, I feel like you can pick it up.
Okay.
I feel like you would be able to pick it up.
That's kind of fun. See, I'm like weird. Like if someone gives me like something like that, I'm like, ooh, I want to play. That sounds like a fun thing to try.
Exactly.
Yeah. Same with like, it's not really big now, but I feel like during 2020, there was a lot of people that were like skating and dancing. Did you like remember?
Skating and dancing. Like ice
like
skating?
no, like rollerblading.
Oh,
like rollerblading and
yeah.
skating.
Yeah.
Like that I think could be fun too.
You ever think about doing stunts?
I actually have done a little bit of stunts.
Oh, okay.
So I was training a little bit when I first moved to LA, I think for like a year with different like fight choreo guys and stunt guys. And I got to be a stunt double for The Descendants, actually. That was super fun. I was also training in like wire work. So, and that's kind of how I got it. I knew someone who was like, hey, we need someone and you're the exact fit for that. And got to be on wires and we were supposed to pretend like we were swimming, but I was just like in the air, like flying. So yeah, it was fun. I like stuff like that.
Now, working with all these other performers, like we mentioned, Lindsey Stirling, Sabrina Carpenter, Katy Perry, Green Day, Tiësto. You also did ABC, CMA, Country Christmas, Kelly Clarkson. So you've done a lot of stuff. Where did those other opportunities come from? Did they come from you booking, touring with Lindsey, and then agents started seeing your work and being like, let's bring her into this?
A little bit of that and then a little bit of other things. So there's kind of a couple ways that you can get your gigs. One is obviously your 8 dance agent. So them sending you auditions. And if they see you do well in one circuit, they'll kind of bring you onto other things. A lot of those jobs were either through Lindsey or the choreographer that I met through Lindsey. So if Lindsey did something, then she brought me onto this. Or like the CMAs, the choreographer of the CMAs is the same as Lindsey's. So she had me come on and I assisted on that. And then for some of those other artists like Green Day, Tiësto, it's actually been friends of mine who have either known a casting director or have been a choreographer or who have been like, hey, I need some more dancers. Can you come about? And some of those people I met through dance classes. Some of them I like taught at their dance studios. Some of them have just been like friends of friends. So it's a combination of who do you know, and then what jobs have you done, and then your dance agent.
Now, it's Green Day and Tiësto specifically. Did you do a music video for them, or did you do something live?
Both of those were music videos for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which music videos?
The Green Day one is called, I think, Father of All, I believe. Oh, I'm going to butcher that one. And then Tiësto's music video, there was like a series of a couple. Oh my gosh, see, I'm the worst. Like when it comes to like my resume, I'm like, what was that called?
You've done a lot of stuff.
What was that called?
You've done a lot of stuff.
But the Tiësto one, I forget the exact song, but it was me and another dancer that were just like dancing and improvising and kind of choreography, kind of not. And it was a music video, and then they used that as like a visual for some of his live performances. So kind of live, but mostly music video.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was it working with these artists?
One of the Tiësto one, he wasn't even there. So like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. So never met him.
Yeah.
There was also one music video I did with Dylan Francis, who it never came out. So that's why it's not on my resume.
Yeah.
But because sometimes that happens, you'll do a job and then it gets scrapped. And working with him was awesome because he was just like very, very involved. Like we did our dance scene and then he'd come be like, you guys are so cool. You guys are so fun. Like he was just like a fun, cool guy. Green Day, that was a very like a high production music video. So it felt very separate. Like it was like the dancers are here and then the artists are here. So it really depends. Like Lindsey, when we work with her, she's very hands-on. She's very like wants to be with everyone. And it feels very much like colleagues and throughout the entire thing. But then there's other gigs that I've done that it's like, okay, the artists are over here, the dancers are over here, the crew's over here. So it feels very separated and a little bit more corporate within the industry. So yeah.
I saw your music video with Sabrina Carpenter. That was pretty cool.
That was really fun. She was so sweet, so fun. That music video we shot at a like a little saloon in LA, and it was at like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning was our call time because we had to do it before the saloon opened. And it was just super fun being able to perform with Lindsey, perform with Sabrina Carpenter. And that was also before she like blew up. So she was like, I wouldn't say quiet, but she was definitely a little bit more tame than like what her persona is now. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you when you made the transition from Florida to LA? And what was that experience like? What were you like? You're going to do it. You're going to make this big jump. You're going to go pursue this dream.
As soon as I turned 18, I graduated high school, and everyone, like where I'm from in Central Florida, everyone was like talking about what colleges they were going to go to, what were their majors going to be, what sororities and fraternities, which is amazing. But that was never in my sphere. I was like, I'm just going to go to LA. So as soon as I turned 18, I think it was maybe a month or two later, I went out there, I auditioned for a dance program called Edge Performing Arts Center, their scholarship program, and they take 20 dancers, 10 girls, 10 guys, and you just train with them for a year. So I did that audition, I got it, and then I think a month later, so in August, is when I fully did the transition. Moved out there, I knew no one, and at the audition, I was kind of like scoping out, I'm like, okay, who looks like they're not from LA? Who can I make friends with? And I made friends with 4 other girls who auditioned, which was kind of a mistake because me and 1 other girl got it and then the other 3 didn't. So imagine being in roommates with 5 girls. 2 of them got the job that you wanted, or not job, but the program that you wanted, and the other 3 didn't. So there was a little bit of cattiness, but it was, I don't know. I think it's the most rewarding thing, being able to move somewhere, not know anyone, and then start to cultivate and create the life that you want. So,
absolutely. You get here in LA. Now, when you came here, was that your first time here?
So I had been to LA a couple of times just to visit, though. Like, I think it was maybe 1 or 2 other times before that, not a lot. Just to come out, get a little scope for it, maybe take some dance classes here or there when I was in high school. And then when I moved out, that was my first time ever. Like, I grew up in the home that I was born in. So it was 0 to 18 pretty much there, and then moved straight out by myself. So the transition was really fun and exciting because it's all I wanted. But it definitely, there was some lonely moments and some moments that I was like, I like wish I had like my family or some comfort or some people that I knew. But you kind of weave your way through figuring out, okay, these are my people. These are not my people. This is who I am in LA. And also to remember, like 18-year-olds, you don't know who you are. You think you know who you are. You think you're like, I know who I am. I'm top of the world. And then you realize you're like, I'm not really an adult. Like I am, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So
before we jump more into LA, Florida, what was Florida life like growing up there?
Loved it. I love Florida, specifically the area that I grew up in. It's called Winter Park, and it feels very much like a Hallmark movie. It's like cobblestone streets, and every restaurant and every store is privately owned. It's not like big chains everywhere. Everyone knows everyone, but like the high school I went to had 4,000 people. So it was very diverse, a lot of people. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it was like I remember when I was in high school, I was like, I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to get out. And then I moved out to LA, and then I was like, oh, I had it pretty good. Like it was awesome. Yeah. But yeah, Florida was amazing. I have 2 parents that are still together. I have 3 younger siblings, and we all were super close. Big community of people. Growing up, like I said, we also were dancing, me and my sisters, from age 3 to 18. So I don't know. Life in Florida was good. Life in Florida is good.
Good. Yeah. So you came out to LA. You were with that program, you said, for a year. Mm-hmm. After that, what happened next?
So after that program, I honestly was pretty burnt out from the program. If you talk to, I'm still friends with a lot of those people in that program, and it was amazing, and I like give so much credit to it. But a lot of us afterwards were like, I need a big break from dance. So after that, I was like, okay, I need a little break. I have my dance agent, but let me get like a real job just to like be around people that aren't just dancers. So I got like a hostess job at a Chinese restaurant, like literally like so opposite, just so I could have it, but then was still auditioning. And I think I got my first commercial maybe like 2 months after that program, which was awesome. And I got, again, little spot gigs here and there. And between that, working at a restaurant, and then I also was teaching as well, was kind of my little world when I was 18, 19.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. How long were you at the restaurant for?
Not very long. I was probably like between like 6 and 8 months. Okay. So nothing crazy. Yeah. It was more just for me to be like, okay, I need a second away from dance just to like recoup and like be excited about it again.
Sure.
Because this program, again, it was amazing, but we were dancing 5 days a week, like Monday through Saturday. And it was like 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. at night. So it was a lot of work, and it was with the same 20 people. And like my body wasn't at that point, I don't think I was being very nice to it as well. Like you're eating protein bars and you're having a shake here and there, you're eating fast food, and I also was like, we're all drinking and we're having fun and we're doing that thing that you are when you're 18. Mm-hmm. And I think after the program, I was like, okay, let's get myself back centered. And then that's when I kind of got a little bit healthier in my body, healthier in my mind. And yeah.
While you were still auditioning, you got the commercial, you were also teaching on the side. Mm-hmm. Was that able to be your world, or did you still have to have other like little jobs, like a restaurant or whatnot?
That was my world. I knew from an early age that as a dancer, you need to if you want dance to be your career, you kind of have to find every little aspect of it. Mm-hmm. So I was auditioning and like doing gigs here and there. I also was like, okay, and like working at that restaurant, I was teaching a lot. So I was teaching at like little kids at studios. Then I realized like, okay, I don't love teaching like little ones, but I want to teach older ones. So then I started reaching out to other studios and was kind of like teaching at different places. I was working on the weekends and still do at dance competitions. So judging dance competitions, judging nationals, judging kind of all across the country. And then just trying to meet as many people and being like, if someone was like, hey, we need a dancer for this gig, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like this indie artist, I was doing it. Kind of putting my foot in every little aspect. Oh, there was one point between like 18 to 20 that I was posing dancers for dance photo shoots. So I was like, there was the photographer, and then I was there like telling them what to do. So anything that was dance related, I was kind of finding my way to.
So what year did you move here to LA?
I moved to LA in 2014.
2014. Okay, yeah. So then 4 years of being here is when you got the audition for Lindsey.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
Which isn't that long, like in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long, but at that time it felt like forever. I was like, oh, because you see like your friends and your peers getting things right away or this and that, and you're just like, the comparison game started to happen a little bit when I was younger. But I'm very grateful that it came when it did.
How did you find your dance style? Why did you choose that dance style? Because it's a contemporary jazz, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of the world I like to live in. So growing up, age 3 to 18, we did everything like jazz, ballet, contemporary, hip hop, jazz funk, acro. And as I got older and older, I kind of started to find my own style and what felt good in my body. And I kind of found it the most when I started teaching, because what felt the most comfortable to me was that like jazz contemporary style. And it really aligned with, for me, the kind of music I liked as well. And I think like the biggest thing that you can take away from dance is that we are the visualizers for music. So mainly for me, I was like, okay, what do I like to listen to? What do I like to move to? Okay, then let's like find our movement quality from there.
Yeah. So. And when you cultivated that and said, this is my lane, this is kind of the style I want to dance in, when you are performing or even rehearsal, what's going through your mind, or what kind of emotion are you trying to bring out or even put out to the screen or the audience?
That's a great question. You're like, good. You're like, I'm glad I'm doing this job. It obviously depends on what the music is, of course, but I always try, if it's like a somber song or a sad song, like, okay, what can I connect to in my own personal life that I can emote what the artist is singing to then project it out to the audience? Or if it's a happy moment, okay, yes, I'm really happy performing, but what are some other moments in my life that have been really happy that I can connect to then have the audience feel that as well? Because we've all seen performances that don't feel authentic, and it's because you can't pull from real world experiences. And I think when you have things that you've been through, good or bad, and you're able to pull from them, that creates the best artist.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so performing is one thing. Now, when you're teaching and coaching others, how does it feel to see your creation come to life?
It's funny. It's kind of switched throughout the years, like what has fulfilled me the most. And honestly, coaching and teaching has really, like, for me, been the most fulfilling, because being able to see a child, whether it's like a young child or even an adult, not really understanding their body or not really getting something, and then being able to either find it a little bit or grow or have something that you thought of in your mind come to life. It's a really crazy feeling, because you're like, I did that. And you're helping them. And it's not like when you're performing, it's a little self-indulgent. Obviously it's for an audience, but like you get the most out of it, I think. But then when you're coaching, they get the most out of it. And it's like when you give someone a gift, you feel good about it. It's that same kind of feeling.
Now, what's the difference between a choreographer and a movement coach?
Oh, that's a great question. So a choreographer usually is dealing with multiple artists, whether that's an artist who's singing or performing, and then dancers as well. So you're doing all this stage work. A movement director or movement coach is someone who's generally just working with a artist and not telling them exactly what to do, but just giving them like, okay, these are things that we can pull from. So when I've worked with a couple of artists who they bring me on, they're like, I don't dance. I don't know what to do. And it's like, okay, we get into the studio and they're singing their song and we're like, okay, this is something you can pull from. This is something we can use. This is a move you can do if you don't feel comfortable. Let's move this way. Same with like, there's a lot of movement directors that are brought on for like shoots. So like an Aloe or a Lululemon shoot, they'll have a movement director. It's not because these models don't know how to pose, but it's like, how do we create some movement to make it look even better for them? So you're not necessarily choreographing something, you're just giving options or tweaking things that they can do to look better.
Yeah. And when you are like helping other people, whether it's for a music video of theirs or whatnot, and how to move, how do you keep it still personal to them? Because you have your own style, but it still wants to be unique to them. How do you find that line?
Totally. So there's like a couple ways to go about it. Sometimes I'll put on their song and it's like, okay, I just want to see how you move first. Like, what are you doing? What feels comfortable to you? And then I'll kind of do the reverse. And it's like, okay, I'll play it and I'll do what I want to do and what feels comfortable to me. And it's finding a little bit of a mix between, like, if there's someone who is not a dancer, doesn't feel comfortable, the first thing is just to be like, okay, well, let's feel comfortable in your own body first. Like, what makes you feel the most confident or the sexiest or the coolest? Because if you just feel awkward doing moves, then it's never going to translate. But so it's definitely more collaborative, I think, movement direction versus choreography. Choreography is very much like, this is what I think, we're going to put it on you. Obviously tweaks are going to happen, but movement direction is very much more based off of like if you and me were working together, I would never give you something that only feels good on me. It's like, it very much has to be like ebbs and flow with one another.
Yeah. So I'd be like, teach me how to pop and lock.
You're like, pop, let's go. Yeah.
You mentioned you judge as well. Is it 3 different areas or competitions you judge?
I've kind of have a little repertoire of different competitions that I pull from. Right now, I'm judging for 3 different ones, but I've judged for, I think, like 6 or 7 in the past, like 10 years. And I also love judging. It's kind of similar to teaching and coaching because you're giving something back and get to travel all across the country. I've also done it in Mexico, which has been really fun.
Nice.
And getting to like see dancers perform and then critiquing them and telling them like, okay, let's work on this, let's do that, has been really fulfilling. So
wow, okay.
Yeah.
And no, you said it's very fulfilling judging and stuff. What do you love so much about it? Just watching other talented people and being like, yeah, that's a 1.
I love dance. Like even when I grow old and I can't dance anymore, I will still love the art of dance. Yeah. And I love seeing dancers like really projecting, really performing and giving storytelling. And so for me, it's like I get a free show every time I get to judge and it's amazing. But then being able to remember how it felt to be on that stage and how important I thought the people that were judging me were and how important those critiques were that I got back. Like I take it very seriously because I remember like there were times I'd be at competition and I didn't do well or I didn't get critiques that I wanted or whatever. And I would just cry and cry and cry. And I realized I'm like, okay, this like me sitting here and looking at you, it's really important because for your development, not only as a dancer, but as a human being as well.
Yeah.
So
nice.
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about At Home Project? Yeah, talk about that.
Okay, yeah. So me and my friend Andy, she is a cinematographer. We have this production company that we started. We both love dance. She's more in the film world, cinematography and all of that. And then I dance, and she actually comes from an ice skating background. And we met in a dance class. And we both realized we have the same aesthetic. We have the same like eye for art. And one day, I think it was me, I went up to her and I was like, hey, would you want to like create a production company together? Would you want to start creating some projects? And so it started with like, okay, I have this idea. Let's make this. She has this idea. Let's do that. We've gotten an artist or two under our belt that we've done music videos for, which has been really fun. And yeah, we have like a little team of a film crew, and yeah, we want to keep making more and more and building more on it. But that's our little production company.
How's it feel going from you started dancing, now you're coaching, now you're judging, and now you are kind of stepping more into entrepreneurial of building something? How's that all feel for you?
It's really fun, and it's not necessarily what I thought would happen. I have always known I was going to be a creative in the industry. I've always known that dance and art and film was going to be in my sphere. And how it's come about, I could have never guessed this is how it's going to happen. This is how it's going to happen. But for me, what I love the most about being a creative is you can have all these different avenues that you can put yourself into. And at the end of the day, like I said in the beginning, like my parents, they own 2 restaurants, and they're creatives, but also entrepreneurs. And so it does kind of make sense going from a creative and now kind of building into more of an entrepreneurial role with it. So, yeah.
If you were to, so you were so good at contemporary jazz, if you were to choose another form of dance to get really good at, which kind of style would you go for?
Oh, I do think I would choose ballroom just because I love watching it. It's so good. And I'm not a ballroom dancer. I have one girlfriend who is so good. She was on Dancing with the Stars. Kaylin, you're amazing. And just kidding. But I love watching it. There's like this sex appeal about it that is so classy that I just love. But that, or even getting into like the popping or the crumping, or like, that is not my world at all, the street style hip hop, but that would be super fun to be a part of.
What do you feel like dance has brought to you that you never thought they could?
I mean, dance has taken me all around the world. Like it is, besides that like one restaurant job, I've been able to create my entire life based off of the creative arts, and being able to not just fulfill myself like emotionally, but financially has been a huge dream of mine. And I feel very lucky because I don't think most people can't say that. And I think I remember that 10-year-old me, or that even that like 17-year-old me. I was in a high school class, and my teacher was like, what does everyone want to be when they grow up? And I said a dancer. And I remember him saying, you're not going to make any money doing that. Like, I think you should pick something else. And I was so flabbergasted because I'm like, you don't know me. And also like, as long as I have the support of my people, I don't really care what this person says. And that could have broken me. Like, a lot of people get broken from things that people say, and they're like, oh, you can't do it. You shouldn't do it. But I remember my dad specifically when I was younger, he was like, if you love something, it doesn't matter what it is, the money will come. It'll always follow. Yeah. And obviously you have to have a work ethic, and you have to really be passionate, and you have to, do all the things. You have to make your connections. You have to work really hard. You have to grind. But it does come. And I'm very grateful that dance has brought me a work ethic. It's brought me so much travel. It's brought me so many friends. It's also brought me a little bit of like, it's a little bit of therapy being able to dance. Like, if you're going through it, like, it can be your biggest cheerleader, but also your biggest nemesis sometimes dance. But when you're going through it, and then it can bring, you go into the studio and you just dance, or you improv, or you coach a class, or whatever, it brings you so much fulfillment that I don't know if many other jobs give you.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And would you, if you had to start all over, would you do anything differently?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure I would. I'm sure I would train a little bit harder in this, or I would do a little bit more of that, or I would connect a little bit more. But at the end of the day, I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that, like we said in the beginning, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And I believe in God, universe, the like angels, and I think that it all guides you to where you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm supposed to be exactly where I am, right here with you on this podcast.
I love it. Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for being here. What's next for you?
Oh,
Another tour?
that's a great question. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know if a tour, maybe. But I think also just like going more into my teaching, a little bit more into my choreography, a little bit more into at home. I have done a little bit more international teaching, which has been really fun, and teaching across the US, which I really am fulfilled by and love. So we're there, but I'm always open to more projects, always open to more things. And as a freelancer, you never know. Like right now I could say this is what's next, but tomorrow I could get a call and it could be something completely new. So, yeah.
What's a message you would give young dancers or even established dancers about not only your journey, but kind of never giving up and continuing to have the mindset to make it in this industry?
I think my biggest thing is, well, there's two. It's not a question of if, it's when, as long as you want it and as long as you train for it. And just because this person gets a job doesn't mean it takes away from you. So like when I was younger, there were definitely people who were like, they booked this. And I was like, oh, why did they book it and I didn't? And it's like, but that was never going to be for me. And just because they book that doesn't take away that I get something. And I do think that there's enough around for everyone. And that doesn't just partake to dance, but just because this person gets it doesn't mean it takes away from you. We can all get it. We can all be abundant in jobs or whatever it is that we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Yeah.
Any other piece of advice you would give them if they're just getting into dance?
Oh, if they're just getting into dance, my biggest thing is listen to your music. That's what I tell, when I'm teaching, that's what I tell every single one of my dancers, that it doesn't matter how cool your moves are. It doesn't matter how emotional you are. If you are not listening to your music, then you're not connecting to it. And the whole point of us as dancers, like our jobs are created to be that visualizer for music. Like all these performances and shows you see, you have backup dancers to bring it to life. So music is so important, and really listening to it, being able to count it, hearing the lyrics, hearing all the little sounds in it, trying to like dissect, I think and being aware is the biggest thing that you can learn as a dancer.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
When you look back at the girl from Central Florida who just loved to dance, what do you think she would feel seeing the life you've built now?
I think she'd be super proud. I don't know. I definitely knew I always wanted it, and I definitely saw it. But the fact that I am here, I got to do the things that I've said that I wanted to do is pretty amazing. And I think little me would be just so excited that she's out in LA and has done 14 tours and is just living the life that she's living. So,
as we start to wrap up, any closing thoughts you have for any other dancers out there?
Closing thoughts, I think, don't compare. Like that's the biggest thing as not just dancers, but any creative is don't compare your journey to someone else's. Everyone's road that they take looks a little bit different. And again, just because someone got this doesn't mean it takes away from you. And no one ever gets mad at someone who's working super hard and is super kind to be around. So yes, your talent matters, but your work ethic and being a good hang and being fun to be around, I think is probably 50% of it. It's 50% is your talent, but 50% is your work ethic and are you a good person? Especially with like some of the jobs I've been on. Half of them, it's been like, okay, are you fun to be around? All right, let's bring you back for another tour. Let's do that. So,
you know what I think is crazy about you mentioning good hang? The last person I just had on, he was a server for 26, 27 years, but he was also an actor, and he's performed in like some different things. I think Princess Diary 2 was one of them.
Oh, cool.
And He's said the same thing. He
Really?
said, you know what I've noticed? He's like, is you have to be a good hang.
Yeah.
He's like, a lot of these people, like, he's like, I remember one casting director was like, the only reason I brought you on is because I felt like you would be fun to hang around for X amount of hours.
I mean, it's true.
So,
It's
wow.
crazy. Well,
Yeah.
it like if you think about it, especially with like touring, I don't know, we didn't really explain it, but when you're touring, you're living on a tour bus with 13 other people. So you wake up and you have all these roommates, and then you're working, and then you go to bed with them. So you have to be able to not only do your job, but be able to wake up with these people and like enjoy them. Like there's been people I've worked with before that they were great performers, but they weren't good hangs. So then they weren't asked back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So look into this camera right here. Tell people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Taylor Gagliano or my website, taylorgagliano.com.
And that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so much for checking it out. Make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. I drop a new episode every single Tuesday. So come on back for more. Other than that, we'll see you next time. Peace.